is experienced during ordinary waking consciousness.
And these people have brains, right?
But there's no brain activity associated with their consciousness at that time.
There's still a brain, though. That's my point.
No, they're not a brain. You're saying they're claiming they're identical to a brain.
If it's a human being,
that's what I'm denying. They're a soul.
Mammalian nature, it has a brain.
No, but that's the thing. That's your assumption. That's your assumption. But you haven't evidenced that assumption, and all the evidence that I'm pointing to contradicts the assumption.
It's objectively true that there's a human being that has a brain going through these procedures.
No, but here's the thing you don't understand. Is you're assuming that
what
the
did you call it?
conscious
Supernormal?
subject...
Is that what you said? Supernormal?
Yes.
That's a medical term I can find, supernormal brain activity?
You can just go look Jeffrey Long, near-death experiences, evidence for their reality.
Supernormal
and you can find all the person is reporting. But yeah, I mean, the guy is just completely failing to track. The claim is that you are not identical to your brain. Your awareness, when you're ensouled, is confined to your brain, so your awareness is of your brain, but you are not identical to the brain. And what we're providing evidence of is that your soul can become disassociated from your brain. So the dissociation of the soul from the brain. And what would be able to evidence that? If all the correlates of consciousness during normal waking consciousness were absent, and yet supernormal consciousness were present. And that's exactly what we have evidence of in the near-death experiences cases.
So now you threw in a soul.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Where did the soul come from? How'd that
just so you guys are aware, supernormal brain activity, as I found it, is referring to when you're an aged person, someone who's older, and actually just has a stronger functioning brain than is normally associated with someone.
No, but you looked up the wrong thing. It's supernormal consciousness, not supernormal brain activity.
Okay, it's supernormal consciousness?
Yeah, and just look at the article that I referred you to. The Jeffrey Long article.
I want to just find out what
that's the medical literature that I'm referring to.
Place, then I should be able to find it pretty easily, right?
Yeah, you would be able to, but I'm just telling you where you can find the operational definition from a medical doctor in a medical journal, just so you can see it, and used in exactly the context in which I'm using it.
I've got a follow-up question.
Hold on, guys. It's some new people on stage. I could just jump in. Hopefully, I have self-control to allow these people to speak. I really don't be controlling y'all. But I just hold on, Brett. I got you. I just want to be fair to the people I seen come on stage first. Violet, do you want to say something to the title or something you heard? If not, if you're listening, it's okay.
At the moment, I'm just tuning into how the conversation's going. But nice to see you, Benji.
Perfect. Nice to see you too. King, do you want to say something?
Nice, all good.
Roland, you want to talk to what they were saying or to the title?
Yeah, I'll talk to what they're saying. I mean, I know what Ethan's talking about in terms of brains not necessarily giving explanation for like the entirety of what we understand as consciousness. Like we can see different brain activity when a conscious person is thinking and doing things, but we don't have like an explanation holistically for consciousness as of yet. I do think, though, that the types of things we see in terms of when people have accidents and so forth and who they are fundamentally changes as a result of their brain changing, to me, it is somewhat indicative of the fact that the brain, in some capacity, is responsible for that. Now, in terms of whether or not there's a soul, that's ensouled in the material that we consider the brain, I don't think that we have any evidence to suggest that, and the NDEs that I've read, of which I've read many, are woefully lacking in either trolls or evidence, quite frankly. So I'd be highly skeptical. I'm driving right now. I can't read if he posted an article about an NDE, but
Thank you very much.
I've yet to find any that were even minorly convincing in any kind of significant way. So I'd be interested to see what it said, but as of right now, I don't really have any reason to think that there's some kind of like ensoulment within the brain and then that's operating the physical body, and that is in some way limited by that body, in terms of injury or things like that. But I do know what Ethan's saying. I don't necessarily agree with it, though.
Ethan, do you want to respond to him before we move on to the next person?
Yeah, I mean, first is basically it's a review of tens of thousands of near-death experiences. So there's like a quantitative analysis of this data set where there's this basically near-death experience research foundation. And then there's also case studies of some of the most convincing, well-documented